I'd like to call the regular monthly meeting to order. Ms. Boche, would you lead us in a prayer, please?
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for the opportunity to gather together this evening. We are grateful for the teachers and administrators who have gotten us through another summer session, and we ask that you be with each of them as they enjoy the remaining weeks of summer. As we gear up for the next school year, we ask for your guidance in providing the best in teaching and learning environments for our employees and our students. Help us plan for a great school year that makes a difference in the lives of our students. These things we ask in your name. Amen.
Mr. Campbell, will you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Boche, can we do a roll call, please?
Mrs. Acevedo? Here. Mr. Campbell?
Here.
Dr. Kraft and Mr. Egan are not with us. Mr. Gaines?
Here.
Mrs. Dysart is not here. Mr. England?
Here.
Mrs. Lemoyne is not with us. Mr. Long?
Here.
Mr. Smith is not with us. And Mr. Warner?
Here.
All right, thank you, Ms. Boche. Item number 4 is community concerns. Ms. Benezek, has anyone signed up, please?
I don't believe so, but I'm going to check. No, sir.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Benezek. I want to take a moment of privilege, please, just to congratulate Mr. Gaines becoming a grandpa. Congratulations, sir.
Oh, thank
Pop
you.
Pop now they call him?
Pop, yeah.
Okay, fine.
Sawyer.
Sawyer J. Poirier was born at 4:03 in the morning, Sunday morning. Of course, Pop was driving in the middle of the night to be there in time for the birth.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's 7 pounds even, 20.5 inches long, and big brother Jasper is enjoying his company. So,
And Mom is doing well.
Mom and
All
Pop are doing great.
Well, congratulations to you and your family, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, good. We'll move on to item number 5, the update on Science STEM Camp. Ms. Acevedo. Ms. Gina Acevedo.
Hi. Good evening.
Good evening.
Just wanted to bring you a little update about what's been happening over at Momus with our STEM camp. Have a little PowerPoint for you. Not going to take too long with you tonight, but I just wanted to let you know. First, before I forget, I feel like I'm at the Academy Awards. There are a group of dedicated people who've been with me throughout this whole process. Alicia Capstick stepped in at the last minute. She's a middle school teacher in our district to help teach this week. She has been a godsend. Tammy Ozuna, who teaches at Araby, but who's going to St. Bernard Middle now, has been there as a teacher. So we have certified teachers. There are 3 of us in the building working with the children. Priscilla and Nikki Bartholomew, who work with me all year long at the MoMA Center, have been there working as counselors as camp counselors with the children. And I have 3 recent Chalmette High graduates who I taught personally working with me, and it is so great to see them using the science that I taught them. Alex Lachardi, Scotty Joya, and Alexis and Cardis. Without the support of Yvette from here at Central, who has been doing my registrations, and Stephanie Sago stopping by every day to make sure everything's okay and helping us check kids in the morning. Couldn't do it without them, and I didn't want to forget to mention them before I started. But STEM Camp has been an awesome experience. I cannot tell you. I wish all of you, Dr. Kraft stopped in, Catherine stopped in one day, could be there to see these children. It has been, you think out of school they wouldn't want to come back and do anything science related. It has been awesome. It has been awesome. First week we had 45 campers. Second week 47. Of that 47, 13 or 14 of them are previous campers from the week before. Loved it so much, came back to us, and have asked now for week 3. I have parents, today, can we sign up for next week? It's like, oh, no, only 2 weeks, only 2 weeks. So we have certified teachers. We have 3, and we have 3 camp helpers last week, and I upped it to 4 this week because we had a few more students this week than last week. Sorry, I'm getting used to this new remote. So every day we do 3 to 4 hands-on activities along with a daily planetarium presentation with a full dome video, and that full dome, everything that we do in the planetarium is 360, so they get that 3D experience without having to use those glasses. It has been today was a really great day. I'll talk to you about a little bit more what happened today in a minute. So we started off camp by giving them a camp journal. This is their science notebook. Every activity that we do has some kind of journal that they have to write with their observations about the experiment, with the data tables, graphing, just any information they collect from what they do. So the first day we asked them, draw us a picture of what you think a scientist looks like. Now, take it that these are from students entering first grade to entering sixth grade. So I have these children who just got out of kindergarten to those who are just getting into sixth grade. We thought there was a little hesitancy about the age of them. Those little kindergartners going to first graders have the energy. They can get things done. They're just as enthusiastic in the afternoon as they are in the morning. So our STEM investigations were based on some challenges that would require our campers to use the content that we learned, those science principles they learned in school, and that we also reinforce at camp, and to solve a challenge. Every solution was discussed, and revisions to those solutions discussed and applied. So it wasn't just we're going to do a fun activity. They had to actually put the STEM practices in use and actually do some revisions. These are just some photos. This is a volcano day. Day one, they built a volcano, so we had a PowerPoint presentation for them where the teachers talked about the different types of volcanoes, how volcanoes are formed. Many of the students had the basic knowledge, and volcanoes are really an eighth grade topic. So they knew the basics and were able to apply as we went on throughout the day. So they started out by building the volcanoes, talking about volcanoes. They went outside and erupted the volcanoes. Many parents, many parents texted me that night saying, "Thank you very much. We're at the store buying baking soda to erupt volcanoes." So then we moved into the planetarium. So this is me taking pictures of what they were actually able to observe. We started out by talking about the volcano in Hawaii. They knew about it. They'd heard about it on TV. I can actually go into one of our live views in the planetarium, and it zooms in exactly on the most recent and active volcano, and it zoomed us right to Hawaii and showed that for us. And then these are some of the images that I was able to obtain from NASA and the video that we actually show in the planetarium. So the students are sitting in the planetarium, and when the lava is coming out the volcano, because it has that 3D and 360 view, it feels like they're actually in it. They were like, was the floor shaking? No, they weren't moving. The floor wasn't shaking, but it gives them that real life experience. So these are some more images from the volcanoes. These are our students, our campers. On the right, we did an egg drop challenge. They had to, the scenario was you have to get supplies to people who have been stranded like in a hurricane, and the only way to get them is to airdrop them. And you want to make sure they get there safely. So we used an egg, and they had to build some kind of device that would keep the egg intact as it dropped. And they were up for the challenge, and you would think some of the little designs they made that it was going to smash when it hit the ground. It did not. So they were able to drop it. This is Inside Moments. They dropped it. They were able to tell us the science behind. They talked about air resistance, friction, wind shear. They applied everything and were able to see it actually happen. This is examples of them taking measurements and writing in their journals. Planting plants. They learned about seeds. They learned about the types of seeds, types of plants, dicots and monocots. Then they actually planted their seeds and observed them every day and made observations in their journal. And on Friday, were able to take their seeds, which had sprouted, to bring them home to plant. We had a mock oil spill. So they were able to experience cleaning up an oil spill. We made it look like oil with a little good Hershey's cocoa powder. And they were able to use different types of substances to remove the oil, and they had to explain to the group why they used what they used. And they now know why the Dawn commercial talks about oil helping with oil cleanups, because that was the substance that worked the best. And when we did that one, that day we did Habitat Earth was our video in the planetarium, which talks about habitat destruction and shows them actual oil spills and things that happen to our environment. Every day the videos are actually, they're paired with something that we're learning that day. These are called environscapes, And these are actually, it's a wetland enviroscape, and the students actually can set up farms and communities, and then they see what happens if agriculture puts too much fertilizer, where the water runs off, so they can see what happens to their communities when different things happen to the water supply. Catapults was an exciting day for them. They had to learn the principles with using some of Newton's laws to do their catapults. They had to test their catapults, and on their chart they had to record the distance that their different items were able to fly. This was Bernoulli's principle for physical science, where they had to get the ping pong ball with the hairdryer to actually float and then be able to tell us why it happened. And then we used different objects and why the balloon was didn't float as well as the ping pong ball, why it didn't stay in the same position. And these are the little ones. These are the first and second graders who are actively involved, enjoying every minute of it. First and second graders again. They had to build a gumdrop tower, and it had to be able to support some books that we had on it, and they had to be able to tell why their structures either worked or didn't work, and they were given time to go back and recreate, revise, and work on their structures again to look at, the base. If the base was wider, it worked compared to a narrow base. And of course, we had lunch every day. We served them lunch and a snack, all part of the summer food program, thanks to Clara Caserta, who is our cafeteria manager this summer. Kids are eating the food, enjoying the food, and their snacks. Just some happy faces at the end of the day. And this is one of the comments that I've gotten several emails, and let me tell you, it touches my heart when you get them from teachers, because when they come back and they say things like are said in this, it really makes it all worthwhile, because they know what their kids should be experiencing, and to get their see their kids experiencing the types of things that we want them to do. Mm-hmm. So this is one. This is Lori Norrell, who was a former teacher in our parish, and then today I received 3 more emails from parents from students who were in the camp last week or are currently in the camp, just begging us, do this again next year. Please continue this. Let us know the dates. When are we going to do it for next year? Mm-hmm. I need to give a big thank you to the Kiwanis Club, because they funded part of my consumable goods that I used this week. Mm-hmm. They actually went out and purchased them for me, and then gave me a gift card to finish purchasing things I needed. And this is one of our closing pictures of one of our books, our journals.
This was an awesome experience for all these kids.
Well, let me tell you, not just the kids, for us too. I mean, we had children from, I was telling Ms. Voce a few minutes ago, we have a child that came from Orleans Parish. Mm-hmm. We have public school, Catholic school, our kids. We have grandparents who have their kids here on vacation that came to camp. Mm-hmm. And I'm most pleased because the kids that I know that are in our district, to hear them talking about science, I know that the science we're teaching in the schools is working, because they're able to apply. So I see our teachers, the hard work that they put in all year long, we can see it.
This is a tremendous program. And just to look at it and to get the feedback from the parents and from the kids themselves, what they're learning, the experience that they're experiencing, it's unbelievable. It's a fantastic job on your report. And I understand they got a waiting list, huh?
Oh, we had
that they can't get in.
No, and it's it kills my heart to have to turn them away. But you can't on a Friday. I can't call a teacher, to come in on a Monday when we don't, it wasn't planned. But we will. I'm telling you, next year I just see this.
Oh, yeah.
Just exploding. I mean, I know the students who were here for 1 week, they will definitely be there for 2 weeks next year. Our parents have already said that.
Right. I can see a lot of parents enjoying this.
Well, they're learning. And I was telling Ms. Voce, they were talking about one of the videos was about gravity. And they were saying, Mom, did you know that? And the mom said, I was kind of embarrassed to say, no, I didn't know that. They were teaching the parents.
That's right. Fantastic job.
Thank you.
Any other board members? Mr. Warner.
Yeah, that looks like you're having enormous success with this, and that's first through sixth grade.
Yeah, going into just leaving kindergarten and just going into sixth grade.
Yeah, and I don't know if you have plans for advancing that for advanced years for next year or the future. I know this program's going to grow. I can see it.
Okay.
I see there's a lot of potential for growth here, but I can see you get a little buy-in from some of the older students as well.
And yeah, we have, because there have been some of them who are upset brothers or siblings who are dropping off little kids and they're in 7th or 8th grade and not coming to the camp. So I think for a first year, this was a good get our
Cool.
feet wet and just to see what the response was,
Fantastic.
and it's just been overwhelming.
It's been fantastic. Mr. Gaines. Thank you, Mr. Warner.
Pleased to hear about the Kiwanis participation in the program, and I will go back to my fellow Kiwanians and say, hey, we ought to do this again next year for you guys. So,
Well, this is the second year they've supported me, so they've been helping me. Anything that every year they call me and ask me what can we do.
Awesome, and that's what we're there for. We're there for the service of the community, so we're glad to participate. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Ms. Foche?
I just want to say that Ms. Aceveda is the driving force behind
Right.
all of this. I mean, she has done an incredible job in preparation prior to opening and then throughout this whole process with the planetarium and the science curriculum. And I know we've said this before, but I can't say it often enough. With her background in science, I mean, she was a nurse prior to coming into the school system as a teacher, so she's got a tremendous background in all of the sciences, and then just the heart for children. In planning this particular camp, you know, as we sat and talked about it in the spring, the tremendous amount of work that it took to put this together and to make sure that all of the activities were centered around the science standards, but that they were fun for kids, and to coordinate the activities that they were doing in a hands-on, experienced manner with the videos that she chose for the planetarium shows, and to keep those kids at those ages engaged from 8 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon, and to have them come out every day and say how much fun this was and I want to come back, and talking with their friends about bringing them back is just a testament to the work that everyone did, but especially, you know, Ms. Aceveda. So we're looking to expand, like she said, getting our feet wet this year, seeing what that response would be and what the demand would be. And I think next summer that if we don't kill her, we're going to be coming up with a plan to expand the initiative and to gauge the interest among children within the community and the families who wish to send their children to us for these camps. And she's not, as she's doing it, there's a different set of activities every week, so they're not replicating it, so that kids can come through the whole experience and not just having a repeat. So thank you for your hard work. Thank you for putting this together. Could not think of a better person to do this. So I think our kids owe you a great
Thank
debt.
you for the opportunity, because let me tell you, the 2 teachers I have, or all the workers I have working with me, they can't wait. They're ready to come back next year. They're ready, and they want it bigger and better too.
It will be bigger and better. I can see that.
That's fantastic.
And you do a fantastic
Thank
job.
you, thank you.
How many students you took on?
We had 45 last week and 47 this week.
And next year?
Next
you'll be able
year,
to grow?
well, our original goal was 60, but it was kind of slow. But then once camp started rolling, we started picking up quickly. And next year, we won't have trouble getting 60.
No,
Not at all.
Right.
I'm just worried that we won't have enough space.
Right.
That it will be that big. Yes, it is a really good problem.
Right. Thank you, Ms. Esteveda.
You're very welcome. Thank
and
you.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to item number 6, update on new school year publications. Ms. Alex Snyder. Good evening.
Good evening. Well, I'm not here to share super news since Miss Gina already did, but I am here to share with you all a few publications that we have coming out this August that we are very, very excited about. As you know, the primary goal of the communications department is to inform and celebrate with the public our programs and achievements. Over the past 3 years, we've done this through our website, our social media presence, primarily on Facebook, and through press releases. This upcoming school year, we are going to continue to spread the word through 3 publications. If you look at the first page that at the very top outlines those publications, I'll walk you through that. Each year we have put out a brochure to the public through one of the local newspapers. This year we're going to be putting out the same brochure with a little bit different of a slant. So in the past, this brochure has primarily been written to parents, but we know that the whole community reads this.
Right.
So this will be addressing the whole community. And the primary purpose will be to provide community members with important dates and contact information, both to our school board members, which is why I asked for your contacts, and I'll address that at the very end of this presentation, but also to school administrators and specific dates that are important and impact the district as a whole. So report card conference events, school holidays, things like that. Community members can expect to see this in their newspapers mid to late July. It will be included in the post, and we'll also have extra copies of this at key areas throughout the parish, which I've done every year, is distribute those individually. The 2 new reports that are brand new and we are really looking forward to, the first is going to be the calendar. So in the past, we have shared specific dates with employees and families, more in a list type of a calendar. This year we will be sharing that through a traditional calendar, one that might hang on a family's fridge or wall or one of our employees. And so as you can imagine, with a calendar, at the very top of the calendar is typically a picture. For each of those, we will be celebrating a different program that we have here in the district, anywhere from our preschool program to our CTE, career and technical education programs, to swimming, just making sure that all of our families as well as our employees are aware of many of the programs that we have and our accomplishments. And then on the bottom, we will be sharing important district-wide events. And then the really nice feature of this calendar is that we have worked really hard with the principals and assistant principals to get some key dates that are really community engagement dates, things like Fall Fest or Grandparents Week, father-daughter dances, things like that on the calendar now, so that parents can plan for those things in advance. And so parents will have one calendar that not only celebrates accomplishments, but also if I have a child in multiple levels, so a Shawmut High student, a student in Andrew Jackson, and a student in Shawmut Elementary, I have all in one place events that impact all of them, but specific school events as well, just to keep track of all of that. Mm-hmm. So that we're really looking forward to. Mm-hmm. That will be shared with both employees at our kickoff, and then every family will receive one by each student on the first day of school. And then the final report that we will be sharing with community is our quality report. And so if you have been to a chamber event or a parish government event, you'll see something similar, but it's a publication that highlights the major achievements for the previous year and major accomplishments through programming. And so that'll be a multi-page report. We're anticipating that report being anywhere from 20 to 30 pages, celebrating the multitude of accomplishments that we've had for the previous year. That will be given to community members at our reflection breakfast at the end of August. Mm-hmm. So those are the 3 major publications that you all can anticipate, and community and family members can anticipate as well. You flip to the next page. As you all know, what we say is just as important as how we say it, and so there should be another document in there, multicolored. Maybe it's on the front. Sorry if I mixed up the directions of that. And so I did want to give you a little bit of a feel for what these publications will look like. We knew it was really important to not only communicate that we were an elite and professional school district through what we said, but how we said it. And so we're working with a graphic designer, Lee Peterson, to help us kind of put this publication together. You'll see that there's multiple colors on the publication. Each of those colors represents one of our schools, kind of woven into one another because we are a unity. Our theme for this upcoming school year is strong. And so we are highlighting the strong programs, the strong accomplishments of our school district. That will be highlighted through the publication and the graphic design. This is the administrator's training cover, and so one thing that people can anticipate is that publications such as that come from the district as a whole, whether it be a financial report or the new teacher training manuals or things like that, will all have a common look to them to kind of unify our look as an entire school district. And so this is the cover for that publication, but it will be a similar look and feel for the other publications as well.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, Ms. Snyder, you've been real busy this summer so far, huh?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Very
Yes.
much so.
But I tell you what, I really like the calendar and the brochure, you know, for the community, for all the events that's coming up with our school system, to just show, make the school system shine, and let the people understand why we shine. Okay. So, board members, anybody have any questions for Ms. Snyder? Mr. Warner, please.
I want to comment that, it wasn't that long ago, me and Mr. Long kind of brought up the dialogue about rebuilding the website, and Ms. Voce made a great choice in selecting you, Alex. You do a tremendous
Good
job
job.
with this website, and this calendar is very important, and there's a lot to keep track of. A tremendous amount of moving parts from elementary, middle, high school, all the different dates, and then coordinating with the administrators. Oh, can we move this around a little bit? So in case we have students that are in different schools, and parents have students in different schools, but it's really, you've done a great job with building this website, adding the content, and then just expanding on it. And Ms. Voce, you made a great choice with selecting Alex for that position.
Well, I'll respond right now to that before the others. You're absolutely right, Mr. Warner. And sometimes as we get older, you get set in your ways. It's really great to have someone come in with a fresh eye and some fresh ideas and the enthusiasm to carry it through. And Alex has just done a tremendous job in every aspect of this in our communications. So she deserves a lot of credit for this and coordinates this and helps and makes it easier for our school administrators to buy into the concept and make it work. And that's what we needed, someone that could coordinate it and make it work, as you, Mr. Long, have I guess preached for quite a long time, so thank you for that.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you, Alex.
Mr. Long.
Yeah, I can remember speaking to Doris a couple of years back, and I think her first comment was, well, if we do something like that, we have to have somebody to do it, and you were successful in finding someone that could really do it first class. We started behind some other school systems, but it looks like we passed everyone up with your help and hard work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Snyder.
And I do want to mention, it's really a group effort. Alex is coming to coordinate this. We've got our men of pen who actually do a lot of this in conjunction with Alex, and at each school site, having someone in charge of that initiative. But Alex is coordinating this endeavor. So it's, as everything else, it's never a one-person accomplishment. It takes a real good team to get together and make these things happen.
Anyone else? Ms. Snyder, keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
One quick
Oh,
question, Ms. Snyder. What information you want on these
Thank you.
cards?
Thank you. So I left a card with each of you. Many of you did have a chance to email me with your contact information that you wanted shared in the brochure. If you didn't have a chance to add that, I just need your address. You can either use the school district's address or your personal address if you prefer. Your phone number, again, either the school district or your personal cell phone, and the email address you would like to be contacted by for the public. And so this will be the public contact information. If you will leave that with Ms. Shelby at the end, I'll pick those up at the very end of the evening.
Thank you, Ms. Snyder.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, move on to item number 7. It's a motion to incorporate the report of the June General Committee meeting into the minutes of the June regular monthly meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Warner, second by Mr. Smith. Any questions? Comment? Please cast your vote. Okay.
Motion passes 6-0.
Would it be 7, huh? It'd be
7, I'm sorry. I
seven,
couldn't
seven.
count. 7. Well, you know,
Well, those math
those
teachers.
old math teachers have
I
a
was getting ready to
problem.
offer you a job as a math teacher. I
I'm
mean, I have
telling
to
you.
take that
Paul,
back.
Paul, is
You're
that that
right,
new
Paul.
math or what?
That's a new
It's gotta
math.
be
yeah.
that new math.
That's a new math.
It's that
Okay.
fake math.
Okay, move to item number 8, personnel changes for the month of June 2018. They got 2000.
Changes have been highlighted.
Yeah, we'll make that correction, Ms. Banner.
2178. Uh-huh.
Let's see what we got.
Mr. Ingram?
Yes, Mr. Gaines.
What I found interesting is I'm seeing some names of kids that I retired about almost 6 years ago, 5, 6 years ago, and these are the last kids I taught at Chalmette High School before I retired. So I'm feeling really old right about now.
Wait till you get to their grandchildren.
Right. Paul, I noticed in the Voice that we had some advertisement for some teachers in that. How we stand with that? Anybody
We still need teachers.
still need some teachers?
Still
for the
need
year?
teachers, yes.
Okay.
That's
Mostly
why we
Wednesdays?
put the advertisement in the Voice and,
Yeah.
you know, we're working on it every day.
Yes, sir.
It's, I think we got to a point now where those unexpected resignations are gone, hopefully.
Right, thank God.
You know, we've only had 3 since the last meeting.
Right, yeah. Yeah, well, it's hard to replace those type of people, you know, with all the years of experience.
Yes.
So. Okay, any questions for Mr. Kleinberg? If not, thank you, sir. Okay, move on to item number 9, motion to approve the renewal of excess workman's compensation insurance. This was a recommendation by the committee.
So moved.
We have a motion from Mr. Long, second by Mr. Campbell. Any questions? We do have some representatives here. Mr. Clements.
Only if you have a
Huh?
question.
If you have any questions. No questions, please cast your vote.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, motion, item number 10, motion to approve the administration's recommendation of official journal. This was a recommendation by the committee.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Gaines, second by Ms. Estefeta. Any questions or comments? Please cast your vote.
Motion passes 7-0.
Item number 11, motion to approve the administration recommendation for vehicle painting and body repairs. This was a recommendation by the committee. Have a
I'll second.
motion by Mr. Smith, second by Mr. Warner. Any questions or comments? We got Mr. Fernandez here if you have any. Okay, please cast your vote.
Motion passes 7-0.
Okay. Move on to item number 12, motion to approve the administration's recommendation for gasoline, diesel, lubricating oil, transmission fluid, and antifreeze. This was a recommendation by the committee. Have a motion by Mr. Long, second by Mr. Gaines. Any questions or comments? Please cast your vote.
Motion passes 7-0.
Item number 13, motion to approve the administration's recommendation for paper cleaning and custodial supplies. This was a recommendation by the committee. Motion by Mr. Smith, second by Mr. Gaines. Any questions? Please cast your vote.
Motion passes 7-0.
Move on to item number 14, motion to approve the administration's recommendation for spices and seasonings, Class 2, cereal, dry beans and crackers, Class 3, frozen foods, Class 5, meats and meat products, Class 6, poultry and eggs, Class 7, seafood products, Class 8, and canned goods, Class 9, for the period of July 1, 2018 through December 31st, 2018. This was a recommendation by the committee. Have a motion by Mr. Campbell.
Second.
Second by Mr. Long. Any questions? Please cast your vote.
Motion passes 7-0.
Okay. Okay, moving on to item number 15, items to be placed on the agenda for next committee meeting. Ms. Foche, go ahead and get in touch. Board members can get in contact with Ms. Foche up to 5 days before, and so it can be put on the agenda. So, move on to item number 16, superintendent's recommendation.
Just to reiterate, we are winding down our summer programs for our students and gearing up even more so with our in-service and planning during the month of July. This weekend, in case any of you missed last weekend's performance, the Performing Arts Academy at Chalmette High School did the play Into the Woods. It was fantastic. I saw Mr. Campbell there on Friday night when I went, and they will be continuing for another weekend this coming Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon. It's phenomenal, as usual. I don't know what kind of adjectives to use each year because they just seem to get better and better, and they do a remarkable job with a great many teachers who are there supporting the students in their performances. On July 5th, we begin our Teach St. Bernard program for those candidates that we have taken in for our teacher certification program. They will go all the way through the beginning of the school year with their planning and classes that they're taking with us in preparation for their first days in the classroom. On the week of July 16th, all of our administrators will hold a week that we call Data Fest, where we will analyze performance of our students from the prior year and make final plans for the upcoming school year and what we need to focus on and their improvement plans and their presentations to their faculty. So our administrators will meet the entire week of the 16th in that particular planning. Believe it or not, teachers who are new to our school system will arrive on July 25th for training. All teachers will come back August 2nd for their in-service, and we will welcome children on August 8th. So these long days of summer don't seem very long. It moves extremely quickly. I wish I could freeze the month of June to really last for at least 3 months so that we could get everything done that we need. But we're going to have a very event-filled summer, and looking forward to planning for the 2018-19 school year.
Thank you, Ms. Foche. Item number 17, adjournment.
Well, before we adjourn,
sorry.
Ms. Foche, can I ask you, on Tris Middle School, is that on schedule to finish at the end of?
On schedule, furniture has arrived. We're beginning to wind up and do punch lists. And do you have anything to add, Mr. Fernandez? I know that you met with them recently. I know the furniture is coming in as we speak and finishing touches.
The furniture is being installed, and they removed the trailer, the job trailer. Gibbs has removed it, so they're about ready to turn it over to us, and they finished early.
Right.
That's fantastic.
So it'll give us time to clean it up, spiff it up, get classrooms themselves ready, so we will be more than ready to accept students.
Plenty of time.
Ms. Doris, I wanted to say this before and I forgot. I'd like to congratulate Mitchell Robertson.
Oh,
He
yes.
was chosen as an NBA player, and he's
Yeah, that's
our
great.
2017 graduate from Chalmette High,
Right.
and he'll be playing for the New York Kickers.
Knicks.
Knicks.
New York Knicks.
Knicks.
I think he was 36 in the draft. In the second round he was picked. You're right. No?
He didn't make the first, but he did make it. What, he's like 7'1" or something?
Yeah, about that.
So wanted to congratulate him.
Congratulations to Mitchell. Right.
Doris, getting back to Tris for a moment, everything's gonna be complete, including the field and everything?
It's supposed to be.
Okay.
The fields themselves, the outside pieces, the paving, the fields,
Yes.
that it should all
That's all
be, it's on
included.
schedule. It's all,
Yes.
Everything's done?
Yes.
Good.
barring anything unforeseen in the next few weeks, we should be ready to go with everything at Trist.
Okay.
What's going to be the next construction project?
We're resting. After we go through 13 years, we're going to take a little rest period on construction.
Anything else from any other board members?
In fact,
Ms. Boccia.
well,
Go
no,
ahead.
I'm just going to say this in fact, we just had a meeting this morning with Mike Womack, who is the head of FEMA in this area, to talk about closing us out. He is retiring on, I don't know if I guess I could mention, October 27th, and we hope to have our agency completely, our school system completely closed out by that point. So we are finishing up lots of paperwork as the work is completed, everything that we are doing. So I know Mr. Fernandez and Laura Carlin, our Dorsey, who works with that, are going to breathe heavy sighs of relief, and so will I. I do have to say, and I'll do a little bit more extensive reporting on that later as we wind down, but the compliments that we have gotten from both FEMA and GOSEP and how we have handled all of these projects for the last 13 years and how they continually tell us we're the prime example of a local governmental body who have done things the right way and who have contained costs, administrative and direct costs, those types of things, and built phenomenal facilities, for our students. So while we continually have our fights about different issues, in the long run, I think there's a mutual respect and appreciation, and they feel very good about what this board and this organization has done in the rebuilding of this community and our school system. So we hope that by October all the paperwork will be done, we will be finished, everything that is FEMA related, and we can just sit and wait for the rest of the state to complete the project so we can start counting the 5 years or whatever we're going to need to retain all these records for these reams and reams and reams of documents. But so we're in the home stretch.
Also,
That's
the
fantastic.
demolition of Sebastian Roy,
Just about, right.
is that complete?
Um,
Or just about complete?
Just about, and then they've got to grade then the land and the
Right.
Okay.
property, so then the middle of that.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Fauci. Anything else from Ms. Fauci? Move on to item number 17. I have a motion by Mr. Campbell, second by Ms. Esteveda. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? This meeting is adjourned. Good night.